call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the December 20th, 2022 regular scheduled Portland City Council meeting in the Linda Hart Love Chambers. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance, Lord's Prayer, and a moment of silence for those serving in prison.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil. Thy kingdom, and power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Clerk, please call the roll.
Kelly Dangle.
Ms. Galangle is here tonight.
Welcome.
I thought it was Kelly Clarkson.
What's in your drink?
Pat Hovis.
Here.
Beth Gilman.
Here.
Richard Morgan.
I am here.
Margaret Phillips.
Excused.
Jerry Trolley.
Present.
Thank you. Council, you previously received the December 13, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Approve. I would make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? I'll second. Thank you, Ms. Lewis.
It's Christmas.
Any discussion? We have a motion by Mr. Trolley, second by Mrs. Hovis to approve the December 13, 2022 regular meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you, motion carries. The minutes from December 13, 2022 are hereby adopted. The chair notes that certification is made regarding compliance and notifications of this meeting. We have no guest presentation, no public comments. We'll move on to executive officer reports. Council, there will be a public meeting regarding the zoning map change. Council approved the letter from zoning last week. It is for 120 Buckeye Boulevard. The public meeting will be at 5:30 on January 10th, 2023, which will be right before the council meeting. That will be open to the public and council. All of council needs to attend. So, there are two new ordinances, ordinance 46-22 and 47-22. They will not be assigned to any committee, and administration has asked that it be passed on its second reading. And then I'd just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And that's all I have. Mr. Colston, did you want to go now?
Sure, I'll just do both with the mayor. The mayor was under the weather today. He wanted to especially thank all you guys and wish you guys all Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and to give you some very good news that basically last night, Marcy Captor, we talked about the earmarks. The city was awarded $3,452,972. That was released last night about 2 a.m. So that will go on for the infrastructure, sewer and water line improvements. So that's a big win for us as far as I'm concerned, and Mike wanted to make sure we announce that tonight. So that's fantastic. So that helps out with the whole project. So that was good news today. For me, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to all you guys. Enjoy your families over the time frame. I am going to go on vacation. If somebody needs something, text me and I certainly will get back to you. Unless there's any questions, that'll be the mayor's and my report today.
Does anyone have council have a question? Or fill in, Mayor, and Mr. Colston.
Is the crew ready for the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, obviously, people, families and stuff, it's going to be difficult. The weather sounds like Friday night and through Saturday afternoon is going to be treacherous. Very, very bad. Winds at 65 miles an hour is a report that I got. Even with 2 or 3 inches of snow, it will be blizzard whiteout conditions. I would imagine most of the, unfortunately, church services and things on Saturday probably will get canceled. But we'll wait and see what happens. I'm concerned with the rain up front. We got about a ½ inch coming Thursday night. It will flash freeze in the morning, and you will have black ice under there, so be very, very careful in your travels and your driving, please. 'Cause,
Do you think the city will be declaring a snow emergency on the streets?
can't, if it get to blizzard, because the biggest concern for me is the power. Because if you start getting all the rain on the power lines and it goes, it's gonna drop down -20 wind chill Saturday morning. That's gonna be the issue. We do not need the power to go out for everybody around town. So that's probably more concerning to me than everything. I think most people end up staying in place. Sure, you can run around town to go to, you know, this and that, but to come long distances or drive back, like my kids are in town, to drive back to Columbus on Saturday is probably not gonna happen. So just be very, very careful out there. We'll do the best we can. We're on the cusp of the snow, 8+ to the west. Our area is probably 4, but they keep saying the plus. If that thing moves a little bit, we could get 6, 8 inches of snow, and with that kind of winds, it will be treacherous. So just keep that in mind for your weekends, please. By Sunday, I would assume things will be cleaned up and be able to travel a lot more, so,
Thank you, sir.
yep.
Thank you. Auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Council, I just want to extend my thanks to Marcy Kapter's office for making sure that that earmark, it's under the US EPA for water infrastructure, was included. That is a large win. It's just less money that we will have to finance to move forward with the underground phase of the water and sewer portion. So I think that's great. It's also on the upper end of those awards that were listed in the bill that dropped last night, so that should be passed by Congress and enacted before Christmas. And then it'll be implemented next year, which is a great thing. Also on ordinance 44, I believe you were distributed in hard copy, the year-end, what we call the year-end adjustments, things up mostly, some down, based on spending needs of the administration. I'd ask you to pass that. Everything in red is changed from the original version when this was provided to you for its first reading last month. Typically, this ordinance is given to council at the last meeting of the year to pass immediately, but I was concerned that there may be some absences and council's short a few people like they are tonight, that wouldn't be possible. So thank you to the clerk and to the council or to the council president for putting this on the agenda early, so it's upon its third reading. So I'd ask you to adopt. I'm happy to answer any questions you have that. And I believe Ms. Hovis will be offering this as an amendment when the reading comes up. I also shared, and I believe you all received a copy of the November financial report from the auditor's office. The two ordinances, the two new ones, 46 and 47. This is Mr. Coles and myself asking council's permission to raise the pay caps for two individuals who otherwise would not even be able to receive a 3% raise because they were at their limit. Council approves the pay wages, the wage range, salary range for these individuals, among others, just like when council approved Brian Gutman's position as EMS captain. This is a similar situation. What my predecessor, I believe, had done in the past is just automatically up the cap 2% every year. And in this case, that for almost all individuals except two, that would suffice because it's within their range, given longevity or whatever other reasons. But these two are hitting the cap, so we'd ask for permission to increase that for next year and the next 2 years to give us some discretion to be able to pay folks what we think they're worth and how helpful they are in their position. So I'm happy to answer any questions about that. I think that's all I have, Madam President. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Does anyone else have a question for Mr. Felix?
I have a question. Maybe I'm supposed to know this, but on this ordinance 4622, I'm allowed to ask them about this now?
Sure.
Or do I have to wait? You brought it up, but I don't know.
I mean, if you want to ask one question.
Okay, like on the salary range for the chief operating engineer, these are quite a range, 38.8 to 81.2. Is that based on how much experience or how much, what is, that's a huge range.
So I'll start.
Go ahead, yeah, either way.
So the lower end, you'll see on both of those ordinances, the lower end does not change. It's only been the ceiling that's changed, and figuring someone with less experience or less time in would be starting at a lower range of a new position. I'm sorry, if a new employee would ever come in.
Correct, that's what I was gonna say. We always keep the low end range, so if this gentleman would retire, then you would start, or have that room to negotiate the next contract, and obviously it would not be what he made, because he's been here for 18 years, okay? So that's why we do it that way. The low end always stays, so we do have that flexibility, but the ranges are wide, because we have the flexibility to go back to that lower end if we need to.
Okay, just to give you some options, basically.
Exactly, that's exactly
Fair
right.
enough, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Madam President?
Yes.
Just one more thing. Mr. Colston, Mrs. Ostheimer, Mrs. Klementoff have been really helpful to me my first year in this position, so thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for what you
And
do.
thanks for your patience and for all of your patience. So it's been fun. It's been real, but it hasn't been real fun.
The numbers
thank
are
you.
not always fun, but no. And I'll piggyback him real quick, I'm sorry. That he has been very cooperative and helps us out, and will answer anytime we need something when he's out in the state of Washington or in Timbuktu. So he's done a tremendous job for us to be creative and be able to get some things here at the city. So I do thank him for that too.
Thanks.
And this is my council, but it's nice to meet you.
That's right.
He's still just as helpful as he was when he was on council, which is very nice.
Thank you.
We'll move on to, do you have the treasurer's report?
Yes.
Thank you.
These numbers are as of December 20th, 2022. For bed tax, we were at $324,903.58. And dock tax is at $21,000, which will probably be what I would consider the average every year.
Thank you. Law director.
I have nothing tonight, Madam President, just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Move on to committee reports. Finance, Ms. Lewis.
Yes, we will be having a meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock to discuss ordinance 45-22.
Yeah. Safety service, oh, Ms. Wilson is again. I skipped Mrs. Hickman. Economic and community development. Wait till I get it. Thank you. Under correspondence, we have the Safety and Services Committee meeting minutes from December 13, 2022. I have a motion to approve the correspondence as stated.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Any discussion? We have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mrs. Gilman, to approve the correspondence as stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. The correspondence are hereby adopted. We'll move on to readings of ordinances and resolutions. Under third readings, would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 41-22.
Ordinance number 41-22, an ordinance amending section 183.051B1A of chapter 183 of the City of Port Clinton Codified Ordinances regulating income tax effective January 1st, 2016.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any actions to ordinance 41-22 this evening?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley.
make a motion that we adopt ordinance 41-22.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
A second?
Thank you, Ms. Hovis. Any discussion? I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mrs. Hovis to adopt ordinance 41-22. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kelly Gangle,
Yes.
Pat Hovis,
Yes.
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Beth Gilman,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. Ordinance 41-22 is hereby adopted. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 42-22.
Ordinance number 42-22, an ordinance authorizing the chief of police to enter into an agreement with the State of Ohio Department of Natural Resources for financial assistance for the operation of the Port Clinton Harbor Patrol and appropriating funds.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 42-22 this evening?
Madam President,
Yes.
I move we adopt ordinance 42-22.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, I have a motion by Mrs. Gillen, seconded by Mr. Trolley to adopt ordinance 42-22. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Jerry Trolley,
Yes.
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Kelly Gangle. Yes. Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried by a vote of 5-0. Ordinance 42-22 is adopted. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 43-22?
Ordinance number 43-22, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to enter into an agreement with Pogemeyer Design Group Incorporated, a Kleinfelder company, for final decision and bidding for the roadway pavement resurfacing improvement portion of the Portland Infrastructure Improvement Project and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 43-22 this evening?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Trolley.
make a motion to retain an emergency clause.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Hovis. Any discussion? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, second by Mrs. Hovis to retain the emergency clause as to ordinance 43-22. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Beth Gilman,
Yes.
Kelly Gangle,
Yes.
Pat Hovis,
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried by a vote of 5-0. The emergency clause is hereby retained as to ordinance 43-22. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 43-22?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr.
make a
Trolley.
motion to adopt ordinance 43-22.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mrs. Hovis. Any discussion?
This is good news. Very good news.
I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mrs. Hovis, to adopt ordinance 43-22. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kelly Gangle,
Yes.
Beth Gilman,
Yes.
Pat Hovis,
Yes.
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. Ordinance 43-22 is hereby adopted. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 44-22?
Ordinance number 44-22, an ordinance amending ordinance number 6-22 as amended, as further amended by ordinance number 23-22 of the city of Fort Clinton.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 44-22?
Madam President, I move to amend ordinance 44-22 as described in amendment number 1, and further, that the auditor be directed to make any technical and conforming changes to the appropriation totals as needed.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley. Any discussion? A motion by Mrs. Hovis, seconded by Mr. Trolley, to amend ordinance 44-22 as stated. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Kelly Gangle.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Richard Morgan,
Yeah.
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. Ordinance 44-22 is hereby amended. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 44-22?
Madam President,
Yes, Ms.
I
Hovis.
move to adopt ordinance 44-22.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? 44-22?
I was thinking it was emergency clause, my
Oh, okay.
My fault.
Okay. Any discussion? I have a motion by Ms. Hovis, seconded by Mr. Trolley, to adopt ordinance 44-22 as amended. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kelly Gangle,
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Beth Gilman,
Yes.
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
and Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. Ordinance 44-22 is hereby adopted. We'll move on to sucker meetings. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 45-22?
Ordinance number 45-22, an ordinance setting the compensation of certain elected officials of the city and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 45-22 this evening? Seeing none, ordinance 45-22 will move to its third reading at the next regular scheduled council meeting on January 10th, 2023. We'll move on to first readings. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 46-22?
Ordinance number 46-22, an ordinance revising and fixing the salaries and benefits of certain supervisory positions classified as exempt employees of the city of Port Clinton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 46-22 this evening? Seeing none, ordinance 46-22 will move to its second reading at the next regularly scheduled council meeting on January 10th, 2023. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 47-22?
Ordinance number 47-22, an ordinance revising and fixing the salaries of certain supervisory positions classified as non-exempt employees of the city of Port Clinton, Ohio, not covered by collective bargaining agreement, and replacing any previous ordinances referencing salaries for certain non-exempt employees and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 47-22? Seeing none, ordinance 47-22 will be moved to a second reading at the next regular scheduled council meeting on January 10th, 2023. We'll move on to business from the floor. Ms. Hovis.
I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, stay safe during the storm.
Thank you. Mr. Trolley?
Yes, I'd like to read a statement from the tree commissioner, Mr. Larry Holman. He's under the weather today, and he's got some other issues going on. And so he asked me to read this statement for the administration. The Tree Commission of Port Clinton is requesting from administration and council $30,000 as part of the budget for hazardous tree removal for the year 2023. The trees to be removed would be approved by the administration and tree commission. These are the trees with a high demand for removal and or most dangerous. They are also the trees the city tree removal crew cannot remove due to electric lines, size, and or manpower. Signed, Tree Commissioner Larry Holman, 12/20/22. Thank you, Madam President. I would also like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, and be safe out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Morgan?
Just happy holidays, everybody, whichever holidays you celebrate. Other than that, nope, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Gainwell?
Well, everyone have a happy holiday and stay warm. And fingers crossed, Pat doesn't get out.
Thank you. Mrs. Gilman?
More of the same of what they said, happy holidays, everybody stay warm, check on your neighbors, and even if there isn't a snow emergency, just remind people to be conscious of the street crews and stay off the streets if you can, because let them do their work, and hope the guys stay safe and warm out there. Anything else? Okay, Madam President?
Seeing no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, unfortunately, I would like to make a motion to adjourn this fine group of people.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Miller. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.